purpose of the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum is, quote, ideological warfare against the West for a multipolar world. It's not actually about economics. They just throw that in there as like a red herring. It's not really about economics. In fact, his quote was this, direct quote. It's in Russian, so I'm not. It says, quote, we are just at the beginning of the transformation of the previous forum into something new, the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum 2.0, which will be precisely the tool and maybe one of the most important tools for the promotion of multipolarity, end quote. So there you have it. She's going to speak at a Marxist thing. It's going to be like a Marxist event is what it is. And one of those that they're trying to promote multipolarity in the United States to undermine the West. So why isn't she then, don't you think that she ought to be registered as a foreign agent at that point? If you're going to an event that's about recruiting international agents to push Kremlin-crafted narratives and influence people in your own country of origin, that sounds like foreign lobbying to me, Kane. It does. So I just hope that she improves her pronunciation of words before she goes and speaks without having the security of a desk and all that in front of her. I mean, she messes up the plainest words possible when she has like a team of people and a computer in front of her. So heaven knows how bad this is going to be. But I just think it's very interesting. But yes, she wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for her gay husband and Charlie and Ben that had created her platform. That's the whole reason of it. That's the whole reason of it. I'm telling you, I've never been wrong whenever I've met any of these people. Because I met her in the very beginning, and I'm like, there's several people. I've got stories. I've got so many stories, you guys, you don't even understand. I have stories about people who are in the news trying to act like they got stories on other people right now. It's very fascinating. Maybe one day we'll talk about it. We'll see. So we have more on the way as we wrap up this third hour of the show. And as we do so, our partners who help make it possible, it's our friends over at Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is the only Christian conservative cell phone service. They have unmatched reliability, premium nationwide coverage in all three major U.S. networks. Priority access, you get the same or better service than your current carrier. No dead zones, no drop calls, and you have a seamless switching process too. And you don't have to go into their store. You can literally stay at your desk, stay on your sofa, sit in the bathtub. I don't care what it is. Keep your number, keep your device, upgrade. It's entirely your choice. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team will handle your activation in just minutes, making it totally hassle-free. And they have a device payout as well. If you're stuck paying off your current phone or current contract, Patriot Mobile offers a full buyout to free you up. No long-term commitments or hidden fees. And they've been doing this for over 12 years. Values-driven support. Make the switch today. Work with a company that shares your values and saves you money all at the same time. That's Patriot Mobile. PatriotMobile.com/Dana972-Patriot. Use code Dana for a free month of service. That's PatriotMobile.com/Dana, code Dana. So, you know, I've been talking about the supplements from the company Human for years, and not just because they make the #1 selling super beats, but because when it comes to cardiovascular health, they really stay ahead of the science. And so if you're anything like me, you're focused on health, but cholesterol can be confusing to folks. So here's what I've learned. About 80% of your body's cholesterol is actually produced internally, and it plays a key role in things like cell health and hormone production. That's why Human created Cholesterol Health Daily. It's a simple 2-capsule-a-day routine designed to support your cholesterol from multiple angles. And it's made with plant-based, clinically studied ingredients, including aged black garlic to support your good HDL cholesterol without the garlic taste, plus patented Italian citrus bergamot for healthy triglycerides and lipid metabolism. You can find Cholesterol Health Daily from Human at Sam's Club, Walmart, Target, and Amazon, so it's easy to get your hands on. And if you're looking to do more for your cholesterol health, this is a science-backed option you can trust and actually use.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
This is the sound of captivity. This is the sound of rescue. And this is the sound of freedom. Give Armenia's captive bears a second chance by supporting International Animal Rescue. Call 508-826-1083 or search The Great Bear Rescue to learn more.
This is Dana Lash. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450, The Ticket.
Larry Elder. The issue is the midterms. It will turn on two things. How the war against Iran winds down. What kind of world will we have? We have a new regime. We have a continued regime, except some behavior modification. And, of course, the economy and how people are feeling about their pocketbook. I think there's plenty of time between now and November. That is an eternity in politics. Don't give up yet. Plus, we picked up 7 to 10 seats because of redistricting.
The Larry Elder Show.
Join me weekday evenings at 6 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
All-Pro Anthony Munoz here for Rose Automotive, your all-pro automotive superstore. Rose delivers all-pro value and all-pro service for all makes, all models, all the time. My family and I have made Rose Automotive our one-stop shop for everything automotive. And I mean everything, sales, service, parts, and accessories. You want it, they'll deliver it. Call today at 863-7878. That's right, 863, my number, 7878. Just take exit 24 off I-75 and head to Hamilton. That's Rose Automotive, your new alternative.
I was running until I wasn't. My hospital stay would have cost nearly $48,000, even with insurance. But with VA, I'll pay zero. And VA is the best, most affordable healthcare in America for veterans like me. Knowing that my family is waiting at home and a surprise medical bill isn't, that's good for my heart. My service was then, my benefits are now. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for this hyper amount of benefits mentioned here.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure, like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously. The best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
High school tournament baseball. Installed by AE Door and Window.
He's going to put on the afterburners, throw to third, not in time. A 2-run triple for Chandler Taylor.
Throw to the home plate, and the tag gets him. What a throw by Austin Bangan.
He's fired up. Look at him. Caleb the Animal Dreesen running off the field. He strikes out the side.
Today, Baden takes on Chaminade Julien.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins today at 4:05 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center, we will see mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high 79. Mostly cloudy tonight with a low 54. Partly sunny on Saturday with a high 76. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low 51. Partly sunny on Sunday with a high 77. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low 55. And on Monday, mostly sunny skies with your high 79.
Some of the woke Rikers probably need to register with FARA. Speaking of which, I'm just going to play this because this is so stupid. This is cut 28 or cut 18. Sorry. Gosh, it's the trash. Let's take out the trash.
And at its core, it's just he's being instructed to attack people who don't support Israel.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
What are we getting close to?
Yeah.
That's my question. What are we getting close to? If they don't feel like they're in control right now. They feel
They're
like
not.
an animal backed into a corner that's fighting and just lashing.
Well, it's funny because they are in control of the levers of power, right? And that's definitely scary. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to minimize that. But at the same time, they are no longer in control of the narrative.
Okay,
and Americans
this is so boring. It's just a bunch of two dumb bitches that are just sitting here going, oh, I mean, I'm just going to say a bunch of platitudes. It's so crazy and insane and what? So they're saying basically that Trump doesn't control his own social media and he's being instructed by somebody, the Jews, to personally attack anybody that doesn't support Israel. Okay, that is one of the dumbest things I think I've ever heard. First off, number one. Number two, he actually does control his own Twitter, his own X account. He also has aides that can access it too. But here's the thought. His grandkids are Jewish. His daughter's Jewish. He probably doesn't need anybody to tell him that the Jews are okay. Duh. This is what happened when e-girls try to get into political commentary. Oh my gosh. I said it. Get mad about it because you know it's true. And if you think you're going to shout me down, I am louder and I am way meaner than you could ever possibly imagine. So it all is. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like what people talk about. I think the op is against Trump. I think that they thought that I think that the Dugans and all these people who are using these bimbos as tools, I think that they all believed that they could control Trump and get him to do what he wanted. And then when Trump did not act that way, they decided to get mad. And now you see Plan B coming into place. All of these people are compromised. I believe it I'm just saying, my observation, I think every single one of these people are actually compromised, legitimately. It is an op right in front of your face. There's a lot of stuff there. I mean, Occam's razor is typically the correct answer. Today in Stupidity came.
All right, now I'm going to play this from Newsom real quick. And Juan, get cut one ready because I think we can do both. Listen to this.
Governor Gavin Newsom has floated this idea of a 100% state tax on Californians who receive money from President Trump's anti-weaponization fund. Your response to the governor's call for 100%?
There's no cure for stupid.
That's right. There's no cure for stupid.
He also said they asked him, why do you write some of this stuff on your notes the way that you do? You wrote resilience on your cabinet meeting notes. Why did you do that? And he was like, because I knew you would look at it and make a story out of it. So catty. I love it. All right, folks, that does it for us today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will be back with you behind the mic on Monday. Make sure to find the podcast downloaded if you haven't yet. YouTube, Facebook, like and subscribe. Substack, Chapter and Verse. I'll be back with you Monday. God bless.
1450 The Ticket.
Don't get caught letting your furnace or air conditioner break down during temperature extremes. Your system needs to operate efficiently at all times. Butler County Mechanical Services is your dependable neighborhood heating and cooling company, offering reliable 24-hour service 7 days a week. And be sure to ask about their annual maintenance contract. That's Butler County Mechanical Services. Call them for your heating and air conditioning system tune-up or repair.
892-1444. 892-1444. Have you recently opened a brand new business and want to get the word out that you're open? Have an existing business and looking to increase profitability? Or are you looking to staff your new or existing business with employees? This is where WMOH Radio can be of help to you. Advertise your business to reach WMOH Radio's local and loyal listeners with your message that your business is open and ready to serve or looking for workers. Give us a call, 513-863-1111, and let us put the power of locally owned and operated 1450 WMOH Radio go to work for you.
This is your ticket to Miami University Sports. WMOH, Hamilton, Fairfield, Westchester, Cincinnati. 1450 The Ticket.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Joe Fetterman reports tensions are still high despite the nearness of a possible extension of the ceasefire with Iran.
As ceasefire talks between the U.S. and Iran drag on, the truce has come under another test. The U.S. has carried out a series of strikes on Iranian targets this week, most recently on Wednesday night. It says these strikes are in response to Iranian threats. In the latest incident, Kuwait says it was attacked by Iranian missiles and drones. Iran confirms that it launched a fresh attack in the region. It says this is in response to American aggression. Now, these clashes have not caused the ceasefire to collapse, but they have left the Middle East on edge.
And that is Joe Fetterman reporting. Meanwhile, President Trump says he's holding a White House Situation Room meeting with his top advisors. A Russian drone that was part of an overnight attack on Ukraine has crashed in an apartment building in eastern Romania.
The Russian drone was tracked by radar in Romanian airspace and crashed onto the roof of a building in Galati. The impact followed by a fire. 2 people suffered minor injuries and several others were evacuated. In response to the crash, NATO member Romania is asking the alliance for a faster transfer of anti-drone capabilities to its military. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett has been targeted in a swatting incident. Nobody was hurt. Correspondent Laura Winters with a call that touched off an emergency response.
There is an LOI for this address that has 24-hour security coverage for a high-priority resident of the county.
You're listening to the 911 call the moment officers are immediately dispatched to the home of the Supreme Court Justice. This after a swatting call is made about shots fired at her Fairfax, Virginia home.
Make contact with security that's on scene. They should be outside and explore. He said he hasn't heard anything.
Barrett has 24-hour security, and it was quickly determined the call was bogus. Laura Winters reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
I talked to a lot of great companies. Very few of them actually literally surprised me, but Fellowship Home Loans sure did. For over 20 years, Mike and Brian and the team there have been helping families do something most people think is more complicated than it has to be. Get into a home, lower their rate, or tap into equity they didn't even realize they had. Everything at Fellowship is done in-house. One roof, one great team, all with a servant-led mentality. From your first phone call to closing, you're going to get people who know you by name. They'll know your situation. They treat you like family. They're also offering a free mortgage checkup right now. Don't miss out. Rates are lower now than if you purchased or refinanced your home in the last few years. Many Fellowship customers are saving hundreds of dollars a month when refinancing, and there are no payments for 2 months. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. New Miami school officials are assessing damage to the cafeteria of the middle school/high school after a fire on the roof last night. St. Clair Township Fire Chief Larry Anglin says it may have been an electrical short that started the blaze. The man killed in Wednesday evening's crash at 747 in Tylersville in Westchester has been identified as 68-year-old Timothy Baltzell. Police say he was southbound on 747 and turned into the path of a northbound Jeep, triggering the 4-vehicle collision. 57-year-old Michael Allen Fields is cooling his jets in the Butler County Jail. He's under federal custody on bank fraud, identity theft, and weapons charges. He was arrested Thursday by a fugitive task force working with Ross Township Police. A vlogger who decided it was a good idea to make a video eating chicken nuggets on a roller coaster at Cedar Point has been banned from all Six Flags parks, including Kings Island. I'm Steve Vaughn.
This is your ticket to high school football.
Williams, there he goes. He's at the 15, the 20, 35, 40. Near midfield. Can he beat the last guy? Oh, he's carried him. He's carried him all the way to the 25-yard line.
Basketball.
Here's a long three by Haley Weber, and that one rattles home. Haley Weber with her fourth three ball.
And baseball.
Bird looking to finish things out. He winds and delivers. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out the side. Gavin Bird gets the save.
WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Looking for a friendly, fun tavern? Nick and Norm's Tavern on the west side of Hamilton has a friendly and entertaining staff, great food, and a large drink selection. At Nick and Norm's Tavern, you can play pool and darts inside, or you can sit in their outdoor area to enjoy your food and drinks. Singo and bike nights with Queen of Hearts drawing are on Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, a DJ and karaoke on Fridays, and live bands on Saturdays. Stop in to Nick and Norm's Tavern on Millville Avenue at Wasserman Road on the west side of Hamilton. Nick and Norm's Tavern, a proud supporter of local youth athletics.
Northbound 7175, there's an accident at Dixie Highway. Traffic through there diverted using the exit and entrance ramps. Also a 30-minute delay back into Erlanger. Southbound 75, traffic slow from the Lachlan split to Paddock Road. That's a 5-minute delay. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
Sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
For tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low 54. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 76. For Sunday, partly sunny, high 76. Monday, partly sunny, high 79. This is your ticket to high school tournament baseball. Later today, it's Baden versus Chaminade-Julienne. Its high school game day is followed by A.E. Dorn Window. Coverage begins at 4:05 on 1450 The Ticket.
Matters more than ever. This is where common sense meets conviction. This is the Hugh Hewitt Show.
Morning glory and evening grace, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt in Studio West. I had to come west yesterday for a memorial service tomorrow and for our friend Bud the contractor. So thanks to Mark Davis for sitting in for me. But it's Friday, and that means John Ellis, editor and founder of News Items. Anyone who knows me or follows me on X knows every morning about 6 o'clock you'll see me start the day on X with one or two items from John's morning newsletter, News Items. And at the end of the week, we go over the stories that are most interesting or most provocative. And we want to start with the papal encyclical, John. I haven't read Pope Leo's latest because he's my age. And I really, this is not a theological statement at all. I don't think he has any idea. He might as well have issued an encyclical about volcanoes, tsunamis, and earthquakes. It's coming. What? Have you read it yet?
I have read about half of it, and I have a more generous view than you do.
He's trying, but I mean, really, they're not going to stop. People are not going to stop innovating, right?
Well, he makes the point that, there are two things. There's understanding and there's love, and AI will be able to understand better than any of us in a very short period of time, but its emotional capabilities are zero, or at least they're zero at the moment. What's most interesting to me is a fellow named Cade Metz, who writes about technology for the New York Times and is arguably one of the best technology reporters in the business, did a piece this week in which he interviewed sort of the Silicon Valley tech elite, and one of its members went on to say that it was all fine and well that the Pope had his views, but the fact is that AI was going to do better what God was supposed to do, heal the sick and feed the poor and so on and so forth, and that what all of the insiders, so to speak, were driving toward was a machine god, essentially.
Well, I noted that you brought up Dawkins, and of course, Hitch was a friend of mine, was on the program every week till he died, and we had the God delusion discussion a number of times. Professor Dawkins had been on the program as well, mocked me for being a Christian. That's okay, I'm used to it. But I would imagine the bros are not very God-driven, although Peter Thiel is.
Well, the thing that makes it politically relevant, I think, is that if, these tech bros should keep their mouths shut, because now that they've said what they've said, which is that they were working towards a machine god, there's about, 85% of the country that thinks that's a really bad idea.
Amen.
And if you're trying to, build public support for AI and build public support for your ability to be, unencumbered by regulations so that you can innovate your little heart out, at the same time that you're arguing that the machine is God, I think I think AI is going to be the major issue of the 2028 election, presidential election. And I think the reason for that is this, it's a basic division. 85% of us not 85%, but the majority of Americans, and certainly the majority of the electorate, believe that religion is not the sphere of tech bros in Silicon Valley. And politicians, left and right, can use this issue to great effect, I believe.
Now, it's very rare that John Ellis and the News Item staff step away from the news and do a little bit of prophecy. So when he does, I glom onto that. You just prophesied the issue in 2028. I agree with you because I've seen, like the robins returning and tell us it's spring. The opposition to data centers, wherever I live, is big. And I think it's dumb, but it's real. And I think that's connected to AI and AOC, of course. The squad hates AI and data centers. So it is going to be big in 2028, but I'm not sure how a candidate ought to approach it.
Well, I mean, the Fox News poll is out today, and it says that 80% of the American people believe that it is, quote, urgent, end quote, to put some guardrails around AI. So public opinion has moved very fast toward, hemming these tech bros in. Uh, and that will only increase, I believe. I had an interview with a guy named Josh Tarangel who wrote a book called AI for Good. It's a story about people who, various people who use AI to do great things. And I asked him how the book tour went, and he said, well, I learned one thing. I said, what was that? He said, everybody hates AI.
Well, there's nothing like a book crowd to tell you that. John, I want to make sure we get to Carol, and I don't want to mispronounce her name. Kasani or Kasan? Because Kasan, her never coming back is eye-opening. Because when something big happens, like the closure of the strait, and we realize there's a vulnerability, fragility, the market adapts. I mean, really quickly. The market is very smart. 1 million people make decisions about their energy future. You want to sum up what she wrote about? And I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, Carolyn teaches at NYU, teaches energy business at NYU, and she wrote a piece today, or posted a piece today, that said what we thought was a supply story has become a demand story. And what she meant by that is that in over 100 nations, various policies have been, put forward to suppress demand for energy. And it has created a situation where, with 4-day work weeks and only use air conditioning X number of hours. And you and I remember, the Nixon stuff after OPEC raised prices. It's that thing of governments trying to suppress demand so that, the cost of energy will not run away. And, her point is that this is now going to be learned behavior, and that it's behavior that won't go away, and that will create, with less demand, there'll be lower prices for energy. And so she thinks that one of the outcomes of the war will be, quote, demand adaptation, meaning living in a world of less and therefore demanding less and therefore stabilizing the price of energy. The whole thing of the price of oil is going to go to $150 a barrel or $200 a barrel, she argues persuasively that that's just not going to happen.
I noticed yesterday, because my wife and I own a little bit of Costco stock. It's widows and orphans stock. And the Costco had their blowout quarter. Of course, price is down a little bit today, but that's because people are trying to save money and they go to Costco for their gas and they stay to shop. That's adaptive behavior. Now transfer the fact that everyone's adapting to China, and for Xi Jinping, don't you think he's looking at the fact that straits being closed is a very bad thing? I mean, he'd like the Taiwan Strait to be under control, but the Strait of Malacca is what he needs to never be closed. Isn't this a very bad precedent for China?
Very bad. China has probably adapted best simply because of their reserves and because of the government being able to say, don't do this, and everybody, has to go along. But the Malacca Strait is obviously a key concern. It's even more important, arguably, than the Strait of Hormuz. And the precedent of, a country claiming sovereignty over a vital choke point is not something that China's going to allow in its neighborhood, that's for sure.
Let me close with something you brought to my attention. The fellows over at Ruthless Podcast alluded to this. Ken Paxton's voters came back. John Cornyn's voters did not. So the whole election is Ken Paxton got his 800,000 people back out for the runoff. John Cornyn did not get his 900,000 people back to the runoff. It's a Tuesday after the long weekend. It's hard to do, but the Paxton people are more motivated. But that's a warning sign to Republicans about energy in the base. Is that what you take away from it?
Yeah, I mean, Paxton got, I think, 878,000 in the first primary and lost to Cornyn. But Cornyn didn't get a majority, so there's a runoff primary. Paxton's vote increased from 878,000 votes to 885,000 votes, so a net gain of 7,000 votes. What happened, Cornyn's vote, he got 900,000 plus the first time around. He got 500,000 the next time around, so 400,000 voters essentially disappeared. So the question is why? If you're a Republican and you're worried about these things, you think to yourself, we can't have those 400,000, metaphorically, sit out this election because we'll lose to James Tallarico. If you're looking at the Paxton campaign, you have to say, we have to make Tallarico so, unpalatable that those Cornyn voters will vote.
We'll come back. And it's Greg Abbott's job, and John Thune came to the program on Wednesday to say it's our job too. But I think it'll get done. But you're right. Those 400,000 are a marker for every Republican campaign in the fall. John Ellis, follow him on X at Ellis Items. If you want news items, you can try it for free. It's at Substack News Items, John Ellis. Google Substack, and you'll get there. Stay tuned. I'll be right back, America.
How many times are you going to walk into that outdated bathroom and think, I really need a bathroom makeover? Stop putting it off and transform your bathroom and your life in as little as one day with a beautiful, affordable shower makeover from Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Choose from custom designs tailored to your budget and style, including safety-focused features for beauty and peace of mind.
I've had a great experience from start to finish. The crew that came in, they were so professional. This looks like a marble, beautiful, new shower, and it was done all in one day.
Right now, we're waiving all installation costs, plus offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free design consultation and quote. Call 800-384-3371. That's 800-384-3371. 800-384-3371. With purchase and installation, financing through third-party lenders, subject to credit approval. No interest and no payments if paid in full within 12 months. Charge from purchase date if not paid in full. Not all will qualify. Call dealer for details.
It's finally happening. The Fed is making a change in leadership, and that could have a profound impact on the value of your retirement. When interest rates go down, the value of precious metals like gold and silver can surge. Call Advantage Gold right now at 800-900-8000 and get your free gold and silver investor guide, a $49 value, plus a free copy of Ken Rogoff's insightful book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Inside, you'll get honest information about gold, silver, and other precious metals, so you can explore your options with clarity and confidence. Our specialists can help you open a new account or transfer funds from an existing IRA, tax and penalty free. Markets can turn fast, but gold has maintained its value through every cycle, often holding strong when other assets falter and when the dollar weakens. Are you positioned? Don't miss this opportunity. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000. Results may vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
High school tournament baseball. Installed by AE Door and Window.
Fly ball, deep left field. That's got a chance. It is out of here.
Today, Baden takes on Chaminade Julienne. Coverage begins today at 4:05 on 1450 The Ticket.
It's summer savings at AE Door and Window. All through June, get 10% off summer space retractable awnings and up to 10% off Provia patio sliders and windows. Save up to 15% off Provia entry doors and Clopay garage doors. Combine and save for another 5% off your total order. Plus, save up to $100 off Litmaster openers. All with 0 down, 0 interest for 2 years. Learn more at aedoorsales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
This is Dana Lash. Join me Monday at noon on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Northbound 7175, there's an accident at Dixie Highway. Traffic through there diverted using the exit and entrance ramps. Also a 30-minute delay back into Erlanger. Southbound 75, traffic slow from the Lachlan split to Paddock Road. That's a 5-minute delay. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
For tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low 54. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 76. For Sunday, partly sunny, high 76. Monday, partly sunny, high 79. This is your ticket to high school tournament baseball. Later today, it's Baden versus Chaminade Julienne. It's high school game day installed by A.E. Dorn Window. Coverage begins at 4:05 on 1450 The Ticket.
Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. I have a couple of stories to tell you, but first I want to do a programming note so you can write this down. Sunday at 7 p.m. on the Salem News Channel, in coordination with Salem Now, we are releasing By Dawn's Early Light. It's a new documentary that connects America's fight for freedom during the War of 1812 to today's challenges surrounding constitutional rights, especially the right to free expression and religious liberty. It's a powerful documentary that makes the point every generation have got to defend those freedoms that make America exceptional, and the Free Exercise Clause is one of those. By Dawn's Early Light traces the pivotal moments of the War of 1812, which leads to the bombardment of Fort McHenry, which leads to, of course, Francis Scott Key watching it and writing the Star-Spangled Banner. And the film then, the documentary, that's again Sunday night at 7 p.m. on the Salem News Channel, draws a parallel to a different kind of battle, one that's not fought with cannons, but within the institutions of the country itself. And the documentary argues that everything is on the line about religious liberty right now. Last February, President Trump signed Executive Order 14202, and that was all about religious liberty and making sure that a whole government effort went into protecting our First Amendment freedoms. But when you watch By Dawn's Early Light, you're going to see that that work is far from being completed. Our friends from Alliance Defending Freedom, our friends at Thomas More Society, our friends all over the place, and especially this documentary, makes the point that the task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias has done great work, and they're continuing to do great work. So make a note, watch this documentary, By Dawn's Early Light, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Salem News Channel. I think you'll love it. I really do. Second story I want to tell you is yesterday I was flying across country, and it's supposed to be a total 6-hour flight, and it was 14 hours. And that's because many things went wrong along the way. But I have nothing but praise for United Airlines, on whose planes I was flying, because the first delay occurred in Newark, where people go to die in airports. And at Newark, there was a mechanical problem. And the captain, God love him, came out and he said, "Hey, everybody, I know you want to get to California, and I know it's a long flight, but it's one of those judgment calls. We're not going to fly today on that plane. We're going to get a different plane because that plane's got X, Y, and Z on." And then I could probably ignore it, but you never know. If we hit turbulence, one of my stewards is not going to be strapped in. So we had to switch planes. And that took, okay, he got applause because people like to know. People just like to know. Then we do switch planes, and we're, 2 hours behind. We get up in the air from Newark to California, John Wayne, and screaming from behind me, screaming. And stewards, they go into action, and a baby, maybe an infant, maybe a couple of months old, but a baby, has had seizures. And mom is, I think it was mom, I don't know, I wasn't close enough to see, is screaming. And boy, those stewards were pros. And boy, did they kick in. And we diverted to Colorado Springs. And of course, everyone knows, baby has seizures, you're going to get to a hospital as soon as possible. And happy ending at the end, sort of, to the extent we can now say a prayer for the baby and the family. Young parents, scared them to death, I'm sure. They did not have other children with them, so it's their first child, and stuff happens when you're a new parent, and you're just scared all the time, and especially if you have a seizure of any sort. So we divert, land at Colorado Springs. There are ambulances everywhere, and mom and dad and baby get off, and the captain comes on and says, "We're going to top off the fuel and get you to California." No one's mad. No one's upset, because what that is perspective. You have no real problems unless you're an Iranian oppressed by the regime, or an Iranian within reach of the regime's thugs, or a neighbor to Iran or within range of whatever ballistic missiles they have left because they're crazy, lunatic regime. I don't know if we're going to do a deal with them, but you have no problems unless you're the United States military and you're facing off with them and they want to kill as many of you as possible. And we have family in harm's way. So I'm hoping that the war resolves quickly with Iran's capitulation. But I think the president is doing the right thing. And I think he will do the right thing. We're in such better place than we were 15, 18 months ago. Iran is smashed up. Their nuclear program at Fodor is obliterated. All of their highly enriched uranium is dust, as the president likes to say, no dollars for unless we get the dust. That's great. But we don't know yet. I'll talk with Matt Continetti after the break about where we are. Here's something I want to show you that the fetching Mrs. We've been watching Shetlands again, which is the longest running serial murderer show ever. The Shetlands have a grand total like 25,000 people living on all the islands, and they got enough murders to go through 15 seasons of Shetlands. But that's an old joke about English murder mysteries. But we finished season 6. We're not in any hurry. We do one season at a time. And we've been to Scotland a couple of times, and she sent me, the Fetching Mrs. Hewitt did, an Instagram video today. Can we play that, Hartley, please? The music is by Madonna, so we'll dump out of the music. It's about driving. Nothing stresses a marriage more than driving in the Scottish Highlands in the rain. And I am living proof to that. But I wasn't the driver because I'm not as good with a stick shift as the Fetching Mrs. Hewitt. So we had our 3 kids. They were younger. This is 15 years ago. And her sister with us. And the only vehicle available to rent was one of those airport van things, 15-passenger vehicles, which are the most dangerous vehicles on the road. I know that because I had law partners who represented companies that made them. They flip over, they kill people. It's just, they're a dangerous vehicle if you know. And it's, of course, you're on the wrong side. The car's built the wrong way for Americans. And then the stick shift, even though the Fetching Mrs. Hewitt grew up with the stick shift, and I'm an okay. I've snapped my cable clutch a couple of times in the past, but the cable clutch wire, whatever it is, I've snapped that a few times, but I could have done it. But I'll do it. Well, my children, before or since, have never heard that many words come out of my mouth. My sister-in-law was just shocked. But it's the Scottish Highlands. They built the road for rabbits. They're built for 2 horses going in opposite directions, not 2 cars. And they're in the middle of nowhere, and the Scots are not particularly great drivers. This is why the Highland regiments are fearless. They grew up in the Scots. So I just want you to know, I put that all on my X feed. Go over there if you want to see the whole video, because it's funny as can be. Madonna Like a Prayer is the perfect background music to that. Let me remind you about our wonderful friends at Angel Tree. We have a week left to get maybe another 100 kids sent to camp. Give a listen to Betsy, who is the director of the Prison Fellowship Angel Tree.
And it's new experiences. They get to camp and they don't lack for anything. So they get 3 meals a day plus snacks. And sometimes at home, they don't. They get to sleep in their own bed, which we take for granted. But a lot of times if you're in a single income household with lots of kids, like you're sharing beds, sharing bedrooms, and it just breaks down the walls and they can relax and feel safe.
And feel safe. And you can get another kid to camp for $200. If you can't afford $200, send $50 or $100. The website is at the top of HughHewitt.com, or you can call 888-206-2764, 888-206-2764, 888-206-2764, or the banner at the top of HughHewitt.com. Continetti is next. Stay tuned.
$14.50 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. A small fire is causing some big problems for the new Miami local school district. The flames broke out around 8:30 last night on the roof of the middle school/high school. St. Clair Township Fire Chief Larry Anglin tells WMOH smoke was coming from the roof when they arrived on the scene. The flames were quickly put out, but there's water and smoke damage to the cafeteria. Westchester police have identified the man killed in a 4-vehicle crash at Tylersville Road and 747 Wednesday evening. 68-year-old Timothy Baltzell was heading southbound on Princeton-Glendale Road in his pickup truck when he turned into the path of a northbound Jeep. The Butler County Burn Task Force with another drug raid, this one in Middletown. 20 grams of cocaine, $2,200 in cash seized from a home on Greenview Drive. 56-year-old Andre Snow is facing charges of trafficking in cocaine. I'm Steve Vaughn.
High school tournament baseball, installed by A.E. Door & Window.
Fly ball, deep left field. That's got a chance. It is out of here.
Today, Baden takes on Chaminade Julienne. Coverage begins today at 4:05 on 1450 The Ticket.
Take a step back in time at Venice Pavilion Antiques in the center of Ross. Browse their new gallery with artwork from the past and area artists such as Robert Fabe and Frank McElwain. Step into the Stardust Room for all types of treasures and listen to music from antique player pianos. You will find lots of baseball memorabilia and spring decor galore. Leave the hustle and bustle behind. For a relaxing shopping experience, visit Venice Pavilion Antiques. Open every day from 10 till 6. Located where State Route 128 meets State Route 126 in the heart of Ross.
Studies show that people with good oral health are more likely to have good overall health. That's why it's so important to maintain a healthy diet, to brush your teeth at least twice a day for 2 minutes, to floss once a day, and remember to see your dentist regularly. Ohio Dental Association dentists are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist near you, visit ODA.org.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Chumba Casino, your online casino for plays, spins, and a chance to score. Must be 21 and over. Terms at ChumbaCasino.com. The San Antonio Spurs won Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander struggled in Game 6. The flopping wasn't rewarded. Only 3 free throws attempted by SGA. Will SGA bounce back in Game 7? I'm Chris Black.
The U.S. Treasury quietly released its official financial report for 2025. It appears by its own numbers, the U.S. government seems insolvent. It's reported that the Treasury shows about $6 trillion in assets and over $47 trillion in liabilities. Add it all up, and it looks like the U.S. owes more than $130 trillion it doesn't have. If that were a family, they'd earn $52,000 a year, spend $73,000, and already be more than $1 million underwater. Any accountant would call that insolvent. So how does the government fix this? It can print money, which erodes your purchasing power, it can raise taxes, or it can cut benefits. And none of those can help to protect you. That's why many people who have something to lose move part of their savings into physical gold and silver, assets that can't be printed, defaulted on, or voted away. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide and a no-pressure conversation. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Joined by Matt Continetti. Matt is a columnist for the Wall Street Journal and their Vertical Free Expression. Got a new column out today on the Paxton Cornyn race and what it means. He's also the head of domestic policy studies at AEI. And every Thursday he's on the Commentary podcast. Matt, I was listening yesterday, listened to the whole thing, and it's fascinating. I know you and I talked last week about anti-Semitism in America. I don't think we can talk about this too much, so I'm moving it up to the top. It's sort of like saying, you know, in 1933, Germany, they were talking about anti-Semitism too much. I don't think we can talk about it too much. The Michigan Senate debate, Graham Plattner, the Galinda lady who didn't win, thank goodness, in Texas, they all ran or centered on explicitly, I have to say, they're anti-Semitic. They're running against AIPAC, which is just Americans who happen to like Israel. Not necessarily Jewish Americans, but certainly lots of Jews are in AIPAC, probably 95%. But what's going on here? This is bubbling over to where my friends are actually worried.
Well, I think people should be worried, Hugh. It's a big problem. I think it's a bigger problem in the Democratic Party than it is for the Republicans. But it's a challenge for us as a society. Where is it coming from? I think it's coming from a few places. One is the woke movement, the socialist movement, the reduction of everybody into oppressor and oppressed, and jamming the Israeli-Palestinian conflict into that paradigm, where all of a sudden Israel becomes the oppressors and the Palestinian become the oppressed, and no logic or evidence can dissuade people of that. I think a lot of it, in some places, like in Michigan, has to do with the growth of the Arab and Muslim vote in this country. That would be something we saw contributing to the rise of Zoran Mamdani in New York. And so the politicians on the Democratic left, they're moving farther to the left, which means they're more likely to embrace this idea of Israel as an oppressor and of American Jews as kind of conspiring agents who are weakening America or exploiting Americans. And then you have the bank of votes that you can potentially get from that, not just from different religious sects or from ethnic groups, but for broader progressive activists. This has become a big deal. And it's threatening to, I think, really sink the Democratic Party, because if we know one thing, Hugh, it's that once any institution or individual embraces anti-Semitism, it will lead to their ultimate ruin.
I agree with that. Do you think the moderators failed in Michigan? They absolutely failed to press the issue for clarity. Clarity before agreement, as Dennis Prager likes to say. They did not press those candidates on, are you anti-Semitic? Or what's the difference between being anti-Zionist and being anti-Semitic? Or anything. They just let it go because it's a dangerous, it's edgy. Do you think Democrats running in 2027 for their party 2028 nomination will face serious, hard-hitting questions on this problem?
I wish I could say so, but I'm very doubtful. I mean, what's the record? We've seen the mainstream media continually cover for Democrats and the Democratic left. Just look at the way in which they covered Operation Epic Fury. You and I had several conversations about just the unrelentingly negative coverage of a very effective military campaign. And so that same type of idea that anything Republicans touch, anything that has to do with Donald Trump is suspect and should be criticized, and whoever is opposing Donald Trump and what his agenda is should be handled with kid gloves. I think that's going to carry on into 2028. You see the way some of these mainstream media figures and commentators are covering the Graham Plattner campaign in Maine. This is a man who literally has a Nazi symbol emblazoned on his chest, and yet and much less the record of offensive comments he's put on social media like Reddit over the years. And they're explained away by mainstream media personalities as, oh, well, you know, he's been through a lot, or he's a victim too, or we need to give him a pass. That same kind of exemption of agency and responsibility is going to carry on to the Democratic primary as well.
You know, I don't think Plattner can sell. He's so explosive, so extreme, and there's more coming. I think it's coming from the New York Times, but we will see. Matt, just very quickly before we go to break, Nick Lemon's written this wonderful new book, Returning. He's a Jew. He's about being a Jew. It's about 5 generations of Jews. I don't think he can win any book award, the Pulitzer or the National Book Award, because he's Jewish. Do you agree with me?
I think it'd be very unlikely. I mean, when you look at these cultural events that are being canceled, you look at the harassment that plagues
Personal information is bought and sold daily. Data brokers make billions pulling your details from public records, then selling it without your consent, landing it with scammers and stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and hyper-targeted ads. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off, instantly alerting you if your information appears in a breach or on the dark web. Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN antivirus, password manager, spam protection, and up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 U.S.-based fraud support. Competitors charge the same price for just one of these services. Aura gives you all of it together. Start your free trial at aura.com/safe. Protect yourself now at aura.com/safe. That's AURA.com/safe.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-555-2085, 800-555-2085, or biglou.com.
This is Hugh Hewitt. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
My friend Ed Larkin, the good folks at Rose Automotive, have a big announcement to make. They are now the proud owners of Larkin Cobb Chevrolet Buick GMC in Eaton, Ohio. Larkin Cobb can handle all your Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC needs. Go see my friends at 500 East Main Street in downtown Eaton, a short drive from Dayton, Cincinnati, and Richmond, Indiana. My friends from Rose Automotive are thrilled to be serving the Eaton market and can't wait to help you into your next Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC. Larkin Cobb, drive the extra 20 to save plenty.
We've got a country to save.
Larry Elder.
Kamala Harris has outlined what she called No Bad Ideas Summit for Democrats. Let's make Puerto Rico a state. Let's expand the Supreme Court. Let's redraw legislative maps. Notice she didn't say one thing about the number one issue, affordability, because they've got nothing other than rich people don't pay enough of their fair share in taxes.
The Larry Elder Show.
Join me weekday evenings at 6 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Northbound 7175, still an accident at Dixie Highway with up to 90-minute delay from US 42 in Florence. SUV there on its side. Looks like traffic getting through again. And another crash eastbound 275 after Mosteller. That's off on the left shoulder. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
Sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
For tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low 54. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 76. For Sunday, partly sunny, high 76. Monday, partly sunny, high 79. This is your ticket to high school tournament baseball. Later today, it's Baden versus Chaminade Julienne. Its high school game day is followed by A.E. Dorn Window. Coverage begins at 4:05 on 1450 The Ticket.
I don't hear anything. Welcome back, America. For whatever reason, my earphone has failed here. Matt Continetti, talk at length about what the president had to say on the True Social while I diagnose what's wrong with my headpiece, because this is what happens in media. He put up a True Social, and that True Social said the bomb, they can't have the bomb, there will be no money at the beginning, but we still don't know. How confident are you about what's going to happen?
Well, I'm pretty confident, Hugh, that the status quo is going to continue. And after reading the Trump Truth, my confidence was bolstered. You know, Donald Trump has been what General Jack King calls the backstop throughout this entire administration. He is on a mission to deny the Islamic Republic a nuclear bomb. And that has been his goal, through whether it's Operation Midnight Hammer, or whether it's Operation Epic Fury, or whether it's this battle of the blockades we have in the Strait of Hormuz and Persian Gulf, where we're kind of trying to find a negotiated solution. I think it's interesting. I think that the diplomacy is now outlasted the actual conflict. What's happening there? Well, I think it's a test of wills. I think Iranians believe that their stranglehold over the Strait of Hormuz is going to impose enough economic pain that Trump will settle for less than what he wants. And Trump believes that our blockade of Iranian ports is causing enough damage to an already ruined Iranian economy that eventually the Iranians will fold or the house of cards will collapse. And so when I look at the different currents of diplomacy taking place, Hugh, I actually think it has more to do with managing expectations in the energy markets than it does with actually getting to a deal.
Okay,
because if we know one thing about the Iranians, they're going to lie and they're going to cheat.
I don't want a deal, really. I'm kind of hoping the president walks out and says there is no deal because these people won't actually get an agreement in place, but I tried, and that we go back to active combat. The problem is the Saudis have got desal plants on which they rely, and the Journal posted a story today. The UAE has been in there punching above their weight hard against Iran. They're ready to go a few more rounds. Oman is setting up a toll booth because they haven't got the natural gas that Qatar has or the oil that the Saudis and UAE does. They'd love that system. I think that we are much better off than we were 15 months ago, so much more better off. But Americans like perfect a lot more than they like the good, Matt. Is that going to weigh heavily on Donald Trump's mind in making a decision here?
Well, look, I think the war has been unpopular in the polls because there's no discernible outcome at the moment. But I don't think that's affecting Donald Trump's decisions. We've heard it again and again. He said he's willing to wait. He said that he doesn't care about the midterms. Now, of course, that really panicked a lot of Republicans, but that's Trump telegraphing to the Iranian government,
right,
you can't frighten me into signing a bad deal ahead of the elections because I have a longer time horizon. I have another 2 years in office. And so we have to put this in the context of the other conflicts in the region, Hugh. These wars are not easily settled. Israel and Hezbollah continue to fight, right? Hezbollah striking Israel with these drones and Israel striking back.
And history
Hamas has not disarmed.
History does not reward leaders who let electoral politics interfere with geostrategy. I'm thinking Nixon in 1970 in Vietnam. I am thinking about W. after getting thumped, as he said in 2006. He doubled down with the surge. You can't be driven by polling for a midterm or you'll make bad mistakes. Churchill, I'm reading The Finest Hour right now, his second volume in the World War II memoirs. He applauds Roosevelt for just insulting Mussolini, 5 months ahead of the 1940 election when he needed the Italian-American vote. And he said some leaders had their resolves, and FDR had a resolve about England and Germany. Do you think Trump has a resolve about Iran that they're going to lose this war? This regime is going to eventually collapse.
I think his resolve is about the regime cannot have a nuclear bomb. That's what he's been clear about since before he entered electoral politics. It's what he's been clear about since the day he launched his first campaign in 2015. And so that means that until Iranians say that they are going to give up their nuclear infrastructure, I really am skeptical that we'll reach a deal. There's a lot of pressure in Washington for some type of deal to open the Strait of Hormuz and in exchange for us relaxing our blockade of ports, the Iranian ports. And while that might lead to some short-term economic benefit for the world and for Trump in terms of lowered gas prices, it doesn't really meet his goal of preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. So that's why I believe that the status quo, this kind of roller coaster ride of threats and then diplomacy and then we're on the verge of a deal, but then we kind of wait a little bit longer, that's going to continue as the blockade imposes economic pain on the Iranian government.
All right, last question, again referencing yesterday's commentary podcast. And if you missed it, America, go find Thursdays. It was fascinating. At the end, John, for whom I have the equal of respect of any commentator and analyst in America, said the risen Christ could run as the Republican nominee in 2028 and he's not going to win. I don't agree with that, but you didn't comment. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't comment because I wasn't there.
Oh, that's
I was on Wednesday's podcast. But if John had said that in my presence, I would have laughed and said, no, you're wrong.
Okay.
I think he'd win the nomination.
Because well, that's easy way out, Matt. But I don't think that's really the easy way out. But what about the bigger point that Republicans are doomed, whether it's JD or Marco or Dave McCormick or Tom Cotton or Mike Pompeo? What about that? I don't think they're doomed.
Oh, in 28?
Yeah.
No, it's far too early. Look, the Republicans have a lot of troubles right now, Hugh, but they have one great advantage. They're going up against the Democrats.
Yes.
And the Democrats, it's not that the Democrats haven't started thinking about what went wrong in 2024. They're not interested in thinking about what went wrong in 2024. Look at the reaction to Jill Biden's comments this week, saying that she thought that her husband had a stroke, and then cheering him on to stay in the race.
Yeah.
The Democrats are the Republicans' best weapon.
And the gift that keeps on giving is the base of the Democratic Party. Matt Continetti, follow him on X at Continetti. Go read his column in the Wall Street Journal today, and of course anything he writes at AEI or anywhere. Thank you, Matt. I'll be right back, America. Stay tuned.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Maybe this is you too. There is enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It's amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven. And yeah, you could save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Here's the number. They're easy to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
High school tournament baseball. Installed by AE Door and Window.
Fly ball, deep left field. That's got a chance. It is out of here.
Today, Baden takes on Chaminade Julienne. Coverage begins today at 4:05 on 1450 The Ticket.
0-2 pitch. Swung on a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Local business owners, get in on the baseball excitement and let your message be heard. Join the growing number of businesses supporting high school sports on 1450 The Ticket at very affordable rates. Simply contact the WMOH 1450 The Ticket sales office at 863-1111. You are listening, and so are many of your future customers. Let area baseball fans know that you support high school sports on 1450 The Ticket, and they'll support you.
From Focus Features and the producers of Darkest Hour comes the new movie, Pressure, the untold story of D-Day. In the 72 hours leading up to the largest seaborne invasion in history, General Dwight D. Eisenhower faced an impossible decision that would determine the fate of the war. As Allied forces prepared to land, two massive storms converge over Normandy. Behind closed doors, with the clock ticking, General Eisenhower must decide: send 300,000 men into nature's unforgiving fury, or delay and risk losing the war itself. There is no safe option, only consequences. One decision would change the world forever. Experience a powerful and inspiring story of courage, sacrifice, and the mission that gave the free world hope. And without a doubt, it must be seen on the big screen. Pressure, the untold story of D-Day. Rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13. Now playing in theaters everywhere, with special engagements in Dolby Cinema.
These two pass along. Northbound 7175 has now been reopened from an earlier accident at Dixie Highway. Still up to an hour's worth of delays from US 42 in Florence. And southbound 71 traffic is slow from Martin Luther King Drive to 471. I'm Eddie Zelek with traffic.
WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Come back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Coming up next hour, Noah C. Rothman joins us. Abe Greenwald joins us. Don't miss any of the big weekend show. Some things in broadcast amuse me. A few things outrage me. Most stuff I just think in politics is pretty idiotic. But Kathy Hochul this week amused me. First of all, here she is on MS Now, talking to their 8 viewers about Donald Trump and the Knicks. Cut number 4.
What do you think of him saying he's a lifelong Knicks fan? I think that's how the Times reported it.
I asked him to name the starting lineup from 1993 championship team and see how he does.
Okay, they didn't win the championship in 1993. But by the way, here's Donald Trump courtside catching Charles Oakley as he goes into the first row. Cut number 5.
162 of 8. The last time diving into the arms of Donald Trump. Gee, what on you? Well, I never realized how big he was until I was holding him. This was not pretty. You take a hard hit? A little bit of a hit, but he's great. He's a good guy. I know him, so it's okay.
Okay.
What do you think of the Knicks
The
comeback?
president was then just the Donald, and he's courtside, of course. Then The Apprentice, season 4, Donald Trump, cut number 6.
Hey, Isaiah.
How you doing?
I'm doing
great. Thank you so much.
Melania.
Hello, how you doing? It is
So good to see you. Now, this is a winner.
I think y'all should make the Donald shoot a free throw.
Oh, and the pressure's on. Oh, we got a sub. We got a sub. You got a sub. Yeah.
You got a pretty cheerleader.
This definitely is going in.
Nothing but net for the president. So I'm just saying, Kathy Hochul, that was amusing. This makes me angry. Dr. Jill Biden, CBS Sunday Morning, cut number 7.
Were you horrified as you saw it unfold?
I wasn't horrified, I was frightened because I had never, ever seen Joe like that.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
Before or since? Never.
Or since?
Yes, or
You've
since.
never seen him like
Never.
that?
No.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke.
Okay, stop. Right there. That's what makes me angry. If the fetching Mrs. Hewitt ever thinks I'm having a stroke, she's calling 911 because you got to get to the hospital within an hour to get the drug that minimizes the damage, as I will do for her, as Dr. Joe Biden did not do for the President of the United States. So that's not true. So I'm not angry at Dr. Joe Biden, who's just trying to rehab a career so she can go out on the speaking circuit and sell some books. I'm angry at whoever that was. I don't know who was sitting opposite her saying, wait a minute, if you think he's having a stroke, don't you stop the show? Because that is the obvious question. Stay tuned. Noah Rothman, Abe Greenwald, and much, much more coming up in hour 2 of today's Hugh Hewitt Show.
Watch the Hugh Hewitt Show live on the Salem News Channel. Now available on Samsung TV Plus, Pluto TV, and more. Or stream on demand to SNC.
H1450, The Ticket.
Honey, what are we going to eat after the game tonight?
How about Richard's Pizza?
Richard's Pizza. One of their new fresh salads for you, a famous Italian steak sandwich for me, and a piping hot pizza for the kids.
Sounds like a plan.
Richard's Pizza has 4 convenient locations in Butler County: Trenton, Monroe, Fairfield, and Hamilton.
Richard's Pizza. Great taste since 1955. Richard's Pizza.
There's an issue cutting through the partisanship in Congress. It's AM radio. The overwhelming majority of legislators, Democrats and Republicans, support a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But time is running out. Text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now. AM radio is too important to let this moment pass us by.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is your ticket to high school sports. WMOH, Hamilton, Fairfield, Westchester, Cincinnati. 1450 The Ticket.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump says he's holding a White House Situation Room meeting today with top advisors as he looks to make a final determination on moving forward with a deal to extend the Iran ceasefire. Correspondent Amer Madani has more on that proposal.
U.S. and Iranian negotiators have reached what appears to be a tentative deal on extending this ceasefire by 60 days. As part of the deal that still hasn't been signed off by President Trump, it would extend the ceasefire by 60 days. It calls for opening the Strait of Hormuz and a demining of the Strait of Hormuz. And in that 60-day period, the U.S. and Iran would also begin negotiations on Iran's nuclear program.
That's Amar Madani reporting. Louisiana Republicans today have passed a new gerrymander designed to eliminate one of the state's 2 Democrat majority black House districts ahead of the midterms.
The bill now heads to Republican Governor Jeff Landry's desk. He is expected to sign it. This new map, the result of the Supreme Court's recent decision to narrow the Voting Rights Act, which gave Louisiana the green light to redraw these 2 districts. Now, this is considered a major win for Governor Landry and for President Trump, who is looking to keep the Republican majority in the House and Senate.
This Laura Winters reporting. Pam Bondi is defending the administration's release of Epstein case files as she testified today before House lawmakers. More on that from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
Former Attorney General Pam Bondi stood behind the Trump administration's release of the case files on Jeffrey Epstein as she testified Friday before House lawmakers, scrutinizing a process that was delayed and included personal information of potential victims. Bondi, who arrived Friday morning on Capitol Hill for her closed-door interview, was defiant in previous public testimony when she was confronted by lawmakers about the Epstein investigation. In her opening statement, she kept to the same tact. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. New Miami local school officials will assess the damage to the middle and high school cafeteria today after a small fire on the roof caused smoke and water damage. With summer break in full gear, the Hamilton City School District has started the process of repurposing some of their buildings. Superintendent Andrea Blevins says despite everything, the quality of programs will not suffer.
Through all of the changes, we have not upped our class sizes. We have not cut transportation or extracurriculars or academic opportunities.
The district has 76 days until August 13th, the first day of the school year. Butler County's unemployment rate fell from 3.7% in March to 3% even in April. 1,200 workers were dropped off the unemployment rolls. City of Hamilton will rename a street in honor of former Mayor Don Ryan tomorrow. The ceremony at Markham Park will begin at 10 a.m. I'm Steve Vaughn.
This is your ticket to high school football, basketball, and baseball. WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Looking for a fun, rustic place to hang out with a classic honky-tonk feel to it? You have found it at the Bearded Saddle Saloon. Under new ownership, the Bearded Saddle Saloon features homemade specials for lunch and dinner, plus line dancing on Wednesdays, open mic Thursdays, DJ and karaoke on Fridays, live music on Saturdays, and Sundays, delicious breakfast. The Bearded Saddle Saloon is on 2 acres with beer garden and outdoor picnic area on State Route 73 at U.S. Route 127, just minutes east of Miami University in Oxford. Your entertainment destination, it's the Bearded Saddle Saloon.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Sponsored by Compassion International. Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Roadways are once again accident-free. All the earlier ones cleared out, but there is stop-and-go traffic on northbound 7175 between US 42 in Florence and Dixie Highway, a 25-minute delay. 3-minute slowdown southbound 75 between Ezra Charles Drive and Fort Washington Way. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
Sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
And now, a special sports presentation on WMOH 1450 The Ticket and online at WMOH.com.
We don't take this for granted at all, but we do love every second of it.
Looks in, gets a sign. 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on, grounded left side, picked off by the third baseman. Force at second, throw to first, got him. 5-4-3 double play. 5 plus 4 plus 3 equals 2, and only in baseball. That's it.
Yep, strikeout looking. 3 straight strikeouts. He punches out the side, all looking.
And that one's ripped. A liner to third, throw to first. Not in time. Good dig, but a liner.
Sky, deep right field, going back to the wall, looking up. It's gone.
And the play's at the plate, and he's going to be safe. He kind of swell-raved that ball, and no chance of getting him. Wow.
Comes set, and the pitch is taking strike 3 on the inside corner. Can I help you, sir?
No thanks.
Just looking.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1, 2, 3, see you later.
Some serious MP8s.
Round in third and heading for home.
We're talented. Yeah, the kids work hard, so I'm excited to see what we have to do for the rest of the year.
All right, we are ready for action here.
High School Game Day, installed by AE Door and Window, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Swung on, fly ball, deep left field, looking up. Goodbye, out of here. 2-run bomb.
Today's baseball broadcast is brought to you in part by AE Door and Window Company, where they sell the best and service the rest. Rose Automotive, Butler County's everything automotive store. Larkin Cobb Chevrolet GMC in Eaton. Drive the extra 20 to save plenty. Mick and Norm's Tavern, a proud supporter of local youth athletics. Cincinnati State, don't just pick a major, choose a career at Cincinnati State. El Gran Valle Verde, the area's #1 for Latin American groceries. McDonald's on Route 4 at Maggie Avenue in Fairfield and Erie Highway in Hamilton. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Municipal Brew Works, celebrating 10 years in downtown Hamilton. Big B Coffee, off Princeton Road near Menards by Bridgewater Falls. Larkin Greenwood Ford, serving Southeast Indiana and the Tri-State. And Butler County Mechanical Services, the repair specialists.
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. He got him with the high heat.
Welcome to Countdown to First Pitch, installed by AE Door and Window, where they sell the best and service the rest. And now, with a pregame look at today's high school baseball action, here are WMOH 1450 The Ticket's Jason Earhart and Joe Cole.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome from Mason for High School Game Day, presented by AE Door and Window on WMOH 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com. I'm Jason Earhart alongside Joe Cole here as we get set for round number 3 of Baden and CJ. This one for the Division III Section 2 Championship. The top-seeded Baden Rams arrive on a 20-game win streak and have shut out both Mount Healthy and Talawanda by a combined score of 28-0 to reach the section final. They'll be opposed by a familiar foe and league rival and 5th-seeded CJ. They've advanced thanks to wins over Trotwood Madison and a 2-1 nail-biter against Xenia yesterday. Down to their final out, they draw a walk in the last inning. Then Isaac Sullivan hits a 2-run walk-off home run for a 2-1 win to keep the CJ season alive. This is the third go-round between these two teams this season. Baden did sweep the regular season series in the first meeting at Alumni Field. 5 Baden pitchers combined on a 2-hitter as the Rams run-rolled the Eagles 10-0. 2 days later up at Howell Field, Caleb Dreesen threw a no-no with 10 Ks and a 5-0 Rams win. And the bad news for the Eagles is, well, it's Caleb Dreesen's turn in the rotation once again today. Should be a great matchup, though. Caleb Dreesen, 5-0, 1.08 ERA. He'll be opposed by the tall left-hander of the Eagles, Charlie Lunny, 1-2 with a 3.07 ERA. And with that, time to welcome the inimitable Joe Cole into the broadcast. And Joe, third go-round here between these bitter rivals.
Yeah, we've already found it. It's been tested once before. Ross Rams were beaten by the Monroe Hornets twice in the Southwest Buckeye League. They chose to play them, and, yep, Ross beat them. Monroe couldn't beat them three times. Right now, you got to worry about that. People around here, the buzz is about what next week in the regionals. You got to get past this foe right here. There is some history here. There's a lot of tradition with CJ. They pulled out a game out of unknown parts, as one guy I know would say, down to the bottom of the seventh. The pitcher gets on, or guy gets on base, and Isaac Sullivan hits a walk-off 2-run homer, and within 24 hours, they're here playing for a district title now.
Walk-off fashion yesterday. They pull off a win, and boy, let's hope history doesn't repeat itself. I remember a game here about 3 years ago in the same exact field where CJ pulled out in a miracle 2-1 win. We won't repeat what happened there, but let's hope for better things here today. Caleb Dreesen going. Not only, Joe, does that it raises the level of play. Not only for your hitters can relax a little bit, your defense generally plays better when that guy's going. And just the energy that he brings to the mound when he's throwing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to bring one more comment to that, when Baden got beat by CJ for the regional championship here, Baden had swept the series just the same in the regular season that year, and wasn't able to do it when it come right down to it to see who goes to Akron to play in the state.
Well, Caleb on the bump today. He's had plenty of rest, 11 days between starts. He threw that game a week ago Monday that we did when they played Lakota West. He went all 7 in that ball game. You won't see it on the website. It never officially ended. It would go down as a tie. Baden had the winning run on third base with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th inning, and then the Lightning decided
just
to...
a flicker of lightning. It was a 2-1 count. If Hudson High would have hit one of those first 3 pitches, just put it in play, I think we would have had a winner.
So Dreesen against Lunny today for the district championship. The winner moves on to Oxford on Tuesday to play the winner of Batavia and Tip City. We'll keep you updated on the progress of that game throughout our broadcast, but should be a great matchup here today. No clouds in sight, Joe. Blue skies, dry, and we're on turf anyway, so we don't care.
Yes, yeah, absolutely right. Good bounces here. A lot of good things to happen here, and the team that plays their home games, we followed them last night. They defeated a game Fairfield who McCoy Marksberry threw 5.5 good innings, kind of ran out of gas.
All right, your high school game night countdown to first pitch, installed by AE Door and Window, where they sell the best and service the rest. Coming up next, we're going to go in the dugout and talk with Todd Barhorst and Brian Treadway for the high school game night pregame coaches interviews, brought to you by Cincinnati State. Have that for you next on 1450 The Ticket and WMOH.com.
Still to come on the AE Door and Window Countdown. On deck, an in-depth look at today's game with coaches' comments. Also, starting lineups driven by Rose Automotive Group and play-by-play action. More High School Game Day is coming up on your ticket to high school sports. WMOH 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
My friend Ed Larkin, the good folks at Rose Automotive, have a big announcement to make. They are now the proud owners of Larkin Cobb Chevrolet Buick GMC in Eaton, Ohio. Larkin Cobb can handle all your Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC needs. Go see my friends at 500 East Main Street in downtown Eaton, a short drive from Dayton, Cincinnati, and Richmond, Indiana. My friends from Rose Automotive are thrilled to be serving the Eaton market and can't wait to help you into your next Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC. Larkin Cobb, drive the extra 20 to save plenty.
Take advantage of AE Door and Windows sale on Clopay Garage Doors.
Save up to 15% till the end of May with 0 down and 0 interest for 2 years.
Purchase a LiftMaster garage door opener
and save from $25 to $150.
Extend your outdoor living with a new awning.
Summer Space retractable awnings are 20% off.
And 15% off select entry doors, storm doors, and windows.
From great brands like Provia and Pella. Plus combine and save another 5% on your entire order.
Visit AEDoorsales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
At Big B, we know it's more than a bagel, it's love at first bite. Cue the fireworks. Big B makes it better. Whew. At Big B, we know it's more than a matcha latte. It's your midday MVP. You got this. Big B makes it better.
Your local Big B Coffee, 2874 Joseph Drive, right off of Princeton Road near Bridgewater Falls in Fairfield Township.
High School Game Day Countdown, installed by AE Door and Window, continues now as we go on deck where the coaches preview today's game. Presented by Cincinnati State. Degree, certificate, or workforce training. Whatever your next step is, you can achieve it at Cincinnati State. And now, we go back to the field with WMOH 1450 The Ticket's Jason Earhart and Joe Cole.
And welcome back to Mason as we get set for the Eagles and the Rams. Time now for our pregame coaches interviews brought to you by Cincinnati State. Pleased to be joined now by the head coach of the Eagles, Todd Barhorst. And Todd, yesterday's finish, one for the ages, something I'm sure Isaac Sullivan probably grew up dreaming about, a finish something like that.
Yeah, it was really exciting. We went into that inning with 7-8-9 coming up, down by one, and really the game plan was get Isaac up, our leadoff hitter, give him a chance, and we were kind of hoping for a gapper to score the run. He one-upped us and put one over the left field fence and got us here to today. It was awesome.
Sound like one of the unsung heroes, though, your 9-hole hitter, extending the inning to let Isaac have his moment.
Yeah, Lucas Knight, he was not in the batting order for each of the first two games against Baden. He's a sophomore, earned his spot later in the year, and he stayed in that 9-hole to do just that. He has really good plate discipline and gets on base, is a good runner, and sets the table for the top of the order. We've been happy with him doing that.
Well, you got about 24 hours to celebrate that. Now back to business. A team that you're very familiar with here in the Baden Rams. You play them twice every year, and like this year, a lot of times, 3 times.
Yeah, absolutely. And this will be the 4th time in the last 12 years in tournament, like you said. We had a short turnaround, but we know this opponent really, really well, so it makes it pretty easy. There's not too much to dive into. We know what they are, good team. If we make mistakes, they're going to make us pay. If we play clean, we got a shot.
I think that's one of the things that makes this rivalry so great. You're always playing for something, whether it be a league title, district title today. I think 3 years ago on this field it was a regional title. Always something on the line. That's what makes it awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, and we get up for these games anytime we get the chance. A lot of people will run away from Baden. Obviously, you want to play them as deep as you can. We didn't earn the opportunity to see them in a regional, but we know who they are, and we're going to come out and play confident and see what happens and hope the game can go our way.
Last time we saw you guys 6-7 weeks ago, I think a little bit of a skid mid-season, but you guys have really turned it on. Do you feel like your team has kind of evolved throughout the course of the season, almost like a different team this time of year?
100%. Part of the change has been different players. Some of the younger guys got their shots and really ran with them. And really, we got some confidence, made some adjustments at the plate, team-wide, philosophy-wise, that have really helped us out. A lot of little things, and when we started seeing success, it helped the energy, and it made everything that much better from there. So we're playing much better ball right now than we were at those 2 games prior.
Who's on the bump for you guys today, and what can you tell us about him?
Charlie Lunny, he's an Owens Community College commit. He's a very tall lefty. Doesn't throw too hard, but usually does a good job of keeping guys off balance with the 3-pitch mix. Knows how to hold runners. Gives us a chance if he's throwing strikes.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to it today, Todd. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Todd Barhorst, head coach of the Eagles. When we come back, we'll talk with Brian Treadway. Have that for you next on 1450 The Ticket and WMOH.com.
Looking for a reason to try the $5 meal deal with new McValue? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
Get more than you expect with the $5 meal deal with new McValue.
The Quarter Pounder with Cheese had many great things. Maple-flavored griddle cakes isn't one of them. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Your local McDonald's on South Erie Highway in Hamilton, Nellis Road in Fairfield, Route 4 at McGee in Fairfield, and on Princeton Road next to Menards in Bridgewater.
Hospitals depend on skilled professionals to keep life-saving equipment running. From ventilators to x-ray machines, Cincinnati State provides the skills needed to maintain and repair this technology, making biomedical engineering a stable, high-demand career with strong salaries. The only program of its kind in the region offering paid co-op experience